Mr. Transformers 96 here with another collection update. So the last collection update I did was in May, so it's been like, almost 6 to 8 months, something like that. So it's been quite a while. So the collection has changed, it's grown, it's moved around. Of course, I always try to keep updating it to some degree, and of course, adding just new things comes with the territory as well. So have some new stuff to show you. I think what I'm going to end up doing though is I'm going to cut this video into two parts. So this will be part one, and then stay tuned for part two. So I'll take you through like half the collection room in this video, and then the other half in the next video. Sometimes it can get a little long-winded if I try to jam it all into one, and usually I try to do it into one, so thought this would be a nice way to split it up. But yeah, so let's get started. So this video it's probably gonna deal with a little bit of the cabinets, but it's mainly gonna be discussing the out of package stuff, which you see here, which just so that you can have like a little bit of a grand view, comes from a closet. This is actually the closet of the room that had like sliding doors on it. So I took the doors out and got shelves put in. So that's of course how this little section is. I really like this little spot though. Before I go just into it and go over the actual items in it, I really like the idea of this little section in my collection room because it doesn't extend into the room at all. It's almost like its own little cubby, and it's really cool. And also the door is right over here. So typically when people walk in, the door swings out over to this wall, so a lot of people are looking at the other stuff, and then like they turn around and then there's just like this bombardment of little stuff like really jammed in there, and it always surprises them. So I kind of enjoy that aspect of it as well. So let's get into a bit of a deeper dive. As you can see, we do kind of have theme shelves, and let's go over them. Alright, so especially this tallest shelf I will have to do a bit handheld here, but yeah, so this is my Transformers section. It's quite nice. So this has the most height of all the shelves, which is why I picked the Transformers to go here, because with some of the bigger Transformers, they're the tallest figures I have like in this little section. So that's why this is all the Transformers. And I do have it split with the Decepticons on one side. This collection has actually kind of grown recently with the inclusion of the Studio Series, with all the new figures there that I'm really enjoying collecting. So I've been purchasing all of or a lot of those, and yeah, I'm starting to run out of room with this collection, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do with the next Devastator, because I certainly can't fit Devastator in here. I can fit some more figures, but I just like a massive Devastator won't be able to fit. So I'm going to have to rearrange some stuff. There's two, like that Dragon Transformer that splits in two. I did purchase that recently, and I haven't been able to throw it in here yet. So I've got some rearranging to do. But overall, able to house really just about all my movie Transformers right now. But yeah, Decepticons on this side. I've got kind of like your classic Decepticon team just at the front here, minus Shockwave, of course, he's kind of the outcast. But I kind of have like the main Decepticon team there. I would like to replace it with the Studio Series ones, especially once Barricade and Bone Crusher come in. Very excited for those. Give you a view at some of the higher ones. And then, towards the middle, it kind of splits into Autobots. As you can see, you have Prime splitting it. We switch over to Autobots, new Bumblebee movie Bumblebee. You have kind of somewhat an evolution of Bumblebee. I didn't do it by movie, I did it by size so that it, just looks more pleasing aesthetically. But yeah, they look nice. You have Optimus there, both versions. And then just the rest of the Autobots. The new Grimlock just looks so much better than that original one, must say. So yeah, overall, there's the Transformer figures. We come down to my Marvel Legends collection. This is purely comics. I have my movie ones on the shelf below it, but the comic ones are so aggressively expansive that I just don't have enough room to display the movie and comic ones together. I used to do that a long time ago, but yeah, I had to split it up since. I've been, finishing up some Build-A-Figures as of late. Like the Sauron, just finished him. I've got Apocalypse, Monster Venom. There's a few Build-A-Figures that I've completed, so they are taking up some space. Try to keep the flying ones to the top. I kind of like to have them there. They kind of help fill out the space a bit more. But yeah, I have a very small section of 3 3/4 inch. If you've looked at some of my older collection videos, I had a much more expansive 3 3/4 inch collection, but I've kind of sold them off. There's just been a lot of 3 3/4 inch figures that I didn't really need anymore. These are kind of the ones that I would have trouble parting with, to be honest, which is why they're still here. And yeah, the Marvel Legends stuff, I've sold a few Marvel Legends figures here and there. Like every now and then, like every year or so, I'll sell like a lot of them, you know, like a set of them, maybe like 20, and then you know, just helps to bring down the size a bit. And there's a lot of figures that I get that I'm not too interested in, to be quite honest, because I buy them for the Build-A-Figure piece, so it doesn't hurt me too much to sell those. But yeah, overall, really like this collection. It's just try to keep it really diverse. I have small sections of like teams, but I don't try to keep them sectioned off. I try to keep it as just mixed with characters as possible, and give it a very diverse look, both in just the style of the characters and the colors and everything. I really like this shelf. It's just, there's so much to look at. It really is overwhelming when you first look at it, which is something that I really enjoy about it. Alright, on the next shelf below we have my DC collection along with my Marvel movie collection. So for the DC, most of it's movie. As you can see here, here's my Mattel movie DC collection. I've got Green Lantern, The Dark Knight, Justice League, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, basically all of those. Aquaman is of course the newest edition with and I did purchase that entire line, so you do have like a line of Aquaman characters that are all new there. And yeah, overall it looks quite nice. I actually enjoy this collection. It's not one that I get often because, you know, they really just do one wave and it's when the movie comes out. So you get maybe 1 or 2 waves a year to collect from. But I do enjoy it. I think that it does look nice. I'm always happy to add to it. And the figures seem to be getting better. And then I do have just this like middle row here, which is a lot of just random stuff. We have my DC collectibles back when they were like planning on doing this like super accurate, you know, great movie line, and they only released the 2 figures. So I do have them there. I have a couple comic figures behind them, Batman comic figures, and the King Shark Collect to Connect. I've got some Hellboy figures just because I'm a big fan of Wink and I want him represented. Although, you know, he obviously doesn't fit super well in there with that group. So it's kind of like my mismatched little row here. And then we move on to Marvel movies. This is a collection that I really do enjoy, and with the new kind of Marvel 10-year series going back and doing some of the characters that they never did, especially villains, I've been really able to expand this collection and theme it a bit more, which I definitely like a lot. But in the back, towards the left, we have my Mafex Hulkbuster. Really like that Hulkbuster figure. Then all the select figures, so the kind of larger scale, and then in front of them is a whole slew of my 3 3/4 inch figures. I have them somewhat organized, but it's just a real big slew of them. Basically just from the early years of Marvel Legends, because they don't really do the 3 3/4 inch line anymore like they used to. So it's basically your like Phase 1 Marvel Legends series. And then we move over to my Marvel Legends, like the actual Marvel Legends themselves series. I do have them sectioned off as far as like right here, I have a row of villains. So as you can see, this is something that I didn't have before, because before the whole 10-year series started, I just wouldn't have had enough villains to do it with. But since that series has started, I've been able to gain another Thanos, another Ultron, Ronin, another Killmonger, Crossbones, Yellow Jacket, a Hydra Soldier, and Red Skull. So I've gained, oh, and I also did complete, finally, Cull Obsidian. So I've gained 9 villain figures since they've started that whole series. So with that massive influx of villains, I was definitely able to give them their own section, which I really like. I'm a big villains fan, particularly Marvel villains, to be quite honest, and I'm really happy to be able to display them there. As you can see, Cull Obsidian in the back. Vulture is the only exception to that, just because he fits so well over here, and he kind of needs, well, you know what? I was going to say he needs a Hulkbuster to support him, but I did get the Hulkbuster from the 10-year series, which is right in line with the villains. I could totally just move him over to the other Hulkbuster. I might do that. That's actually a good idea. Okay, so eventually I'll get Vulture more lined up with the villains. Let's take a little handheld. Let's get in a little closer. But yeah, just a slew of Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. Quite a bit. Of course, with Avengers 4, Captain Marvel, the collection will expand. And I'm excited for that. Alright. So now let's finish it off with the row right below it, which is, of course, the classic toy line Star Wars. Alright, on to Star Wars. Towards the right here we have my Clone Wars series of figures. This is kind of an older series of figures. Obviously the Clone Wars is over. Now who knows, this might be really revitalized once the Clone Wars starts again, as was promised not too long ago. But even if it does kind of get revised, I doubt they're going to be doing 3¼ inch. I would guess that they're probably going to do more of the 6-inch. That just seems to be where Hasbro's heading with the Star Wars series in general. But I really like the Clone Wars figures, so that's why I definitely, of course, have them all still on display. And they look great. I was a big fan of Clone Wars, and the figures were just super cool, and the amount of characters that they did was great, too. So, wanted to keep them represented. Then we have my Black Series collection. This is definitely where Hasbro's been focusing lately. And yeah, it's really starting to grow. Like, I didn't have most of my Black Series figures, to be honest, are on a detail cabinet. I have a massive kind of Empire First Order display set up, and that's where like all or the majority of my Black Series figures are. So I didn't have too many over here for quite a while, but it's starting to slowly grow. I have plenty of room to pack this, though. I've got plenty of room to add more characters, but I'm particularly loving the Bounty Hunters, which are coming out, but you can see them on the back wall there. Give you a handheld again. The handheld, do you guys prefer the handheld or the stationary? I feel like handheld, you get with collection videos, you get a nice view of the characters. But yeah, I love the Bounty Hunters back there. I'm a big Bounty Hunters fan from Empire Strikes Back, and I'm really happy with them over there. Dengar is the last one that I need, and he is coming out very shortly, so I do plan to get him as soon as I have the opportunity. You have a couple of just 3¼ inch figures lining up the front. And then off to the left, we have my Jabba the Hutt collection. I'm a big fan of Jabba, so I have like a 3¼ inch display set up with a bunch of guards and stuff. Always been proud of that. Then a little 6-inch one there. Well, he's a 6-inch Jabba, not much of a collection though. And you have Guido with him, or Greedo. And then on the back there, we have the Pop, which has always been a really nice Pop display. It's the only Pop that I keep displayed with figures, basically. But yeah, overall, there's my Star Wars collection. Very happy with it, and it's continuing to grow. Alright, and right above that whole collection, we do have a slew of Marvel Legends figures. Ones that they're all just ones that I wanted to get, or that I was able to get cheap on eBay from, there was a seller, from Hasbro's website, that's right. Hasbro's eBay page sold some of these Marvel Legends really cheap at some point, so I got a bunch of them, and it works for a nice display. All of them except for that one, black-suited Spider-Woman, I have out of package as well. And then at the top you have that Sinister Six 3¼ inch series. That was like an Amazon exclusive. I picked up that, and it looks really nice all displayed. Love the characters on it. And on the side here we have some Rebel Tech. Little display. I plan on moving this because I have Carnage, but just he doesn't really fit well up here. So I plan on moving that Rebel Tech display, make it better. We have my Play Arts Zod and Feora. Really like them. They just don't go with a whole lot, so have them there. And then just a few 3¼ inch mint figures. So yeah. So there is the collection as it stands. Gonna end part 1 right here. So stay tuned for the next part. We'll be expanding more into the collection room, of course, and really getting into all the glass cabinet stuff. I have a couple of things on the walls I can talk about, but mainly I have everything displayed in the glass cabinet. I do have one new, really cool piece of promotional art for Avengers Infinity War. I have that hung up that I got from a store that I'm pretty happy about. It looks really cool, and yeah, it just looks awesome. So stay tuned for part 2 to see the rest of my collection, my Hot Toys, everything in the glass cabinet, and some of the other stuff on the walls. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this portion of my collection. Definitely stay tuned for part 2, and thanks so much for watching.